what does a night like this mean to you and mean to the team beyond the football?
I've said it so many times before. It's been my responsibility to identify the culture in this team and the core values, and then make sure that those can flourish as much as possible. It's a responsibility as a leader for this team. And to be able to be a small part of a journey like that, I even felt misplaced sitting up here with Lydia, to be honest. I have been here not even 4 years in her career, and just sit here and be a small part of it. I'm so humble and privileged about that. But also to be able to do things in the background, and actually she's too humble and she's not going to like to hear this, but Anne, who stands here, has been a massive part of this planning, even though she don't admit it herself. But she loves this team and been around for a long time, and the amount of planning that goes into an honoring like this. And we said months ago that one of the things we want to leave as a legacy as well, me and Anne personally, is to make sure that we establish a routine in Football Australia where we honor the legends the way they deserve to be honored. And I hope this is first of many to come. And I think seeing this, it also reminds us that football can be so much more than 90-minute football or a goal or a clean sheet. Even though we did say as a team in the last huddle before we went out to say the best way we can honor her is to keep a clean sheet, make sure she's not even touching the ball in the game, make sure you win it before they come to our penalty box. And she actually didn't have much to do in the first half, so I'm happy she got a clean sheet in her last game on home soil as well.
Tony, when did you decide that you were going to give her the captain's armband and get her to start, and why make that call?
Don't know how much Lydia wants me to reveal about this process, but the first in-depth conversation we had was when we were in Canada. When she said she had thoughts about potentially leaving the game at one point. And at that point I said I want to do that in the best way possible, and we talked about the timing of it. And then from that moment there's been a lot of planning behind the scenes, and obviously you don't really know what's going to happen, but you have an idea of how you want it to play out. And in this case we felt that this was the perfect moment to do it if we can get everything sorted and she was fit enough to play, because she had some injury setbacks with her foot and such. There was some uncertainty whether we could do it as well. And there's always this balance, because Lydia was very clear as well to say, I do not want this to be a disturbance in the Olympic preparation, because this team is also preparing for a major tournament and they want to win something. So we need to find that right balance of being brave enough to let her start, also using a sub in the first half, which means we only have 2 breaks in the second half and only 5 more players to come in. So it takes some bravery to do what we did as well. And I could easily protect myself and say there's no time for that, Lydia, we just need to play, we need to prep the players that are going to play in the Olympics. But for me, so much more than that. And I actually think this preparation helps in the Olympics, because I think we gain energy as a group and a family, like Lydia said, connect to the fans in that family and that circle as well. That gives us a lot of energy and belief when we go to the Olympics.
So Tony, walk us through that game and what you took from it, and how much confidence will the team take to that going into Paris?
We weren't too happy with our performance in the last game. We did want to look at some individual players to get a last chance to see if they can be on the plane to Paris. This game we wanted to show who we really are. I think we were very, very aggressive and very attacking minded, and we should have been 2-0 up after 20 minutes if we converted those chances. I think we finished the first half a bit slow. We did some tactical tweaks in halftime, not just personnel-wise, but we did a change in rotation on the left side because we didn't get Steph and Mary included in the game enough, and that caused a lot of problems for them to solve. And I think that's, again, credit to the players about the tactical flexibility that I've talked so much about that we need to have in tournaments. And I think to prove that tonight, a rotation of players, rotation of system, different shapes. I think we played 3 or 4 different shapes tonight in terms of attack and rotations, and it paid off. And also some game management at the end, even though we don't like to play slow, as you saw in the end of the game, but also in a long Olympics, if you're winning 2-0, you need to learn how to kill a game and save the legs for the next round. So we got a little bit of game management in there at the end as well to just kill the game and save some legs.
Yeah, just on some of those rotations that you were just mentioning, Courtney Vine, you put her up front. Mm-hmm. Is that, she had a great game. Is that sort of a bit contingency planning just in terms of like having backups in attack? You know, Michelle Heyman probably can't back up and play 90 minutes in every match at the Olympics.
Yeah, and also two very different player types, with Michelle being more of a back-to-goal 9 and a strong aerial presence in the box, and Vine being more of a runner in behind with pace and stretch the team to open a space in front of the back line, but also be ready to get into the space behind. And with the amount of wide options that we have now, with Torpy playing wide in a good way as well, like she did against Uzbekistan and coming in today, Mary can play wide on both sides. She's done the City. Caitlin can play wide. We have a lot of wide options. Meeks can play wide as well, and obviously Vine. But we have a little bit lack of depth in the 9 position. And just to summarize going in today, to be honest, and I think we forget that. I mean, Sam Kerr is out with ACL, and then we have Holly McNamara out with an ACL that could be a forward option for him. Amy Sawyer is out with ACL, and then we have players that haven't really come back to where the ones were because of ACL with Kaya Simon and Chloe Lagarde. So that's 5, 9, and 10s out in this game. And then you add Caitlin Ford, that's 6, and we still perform the way we did. So I think we need to remember the investment we've done in the depth and being able to do this with 4, 5, 6 attacking options out of selection for today.
3 more questions, George.
Tony, can I just get a really boring one out of the way? No injuries out of tonight?
I hope not.
Okay.
That was actually one. We said honor Lydia, no injury and a win. And
okay.
So hopefully we check that box.
That's a bonus. I guess looking ahead to the Olympics, like you've had a lot of experience now with the group. Where do you feel you're at compared to where you were the first Olympic campaign, into Asian Cup, and then into last year's World Cup? Do you feel like you're reaching a pinnacle with them almost?
Oh, what a great question. It's part of that journey, the one day better journey that we've been on, right? And you know me about preparation mode and performance mode. It's a bit early to say exactly where we are. I am a bit concerned about the injuries that we've had and those setbacks, but I'm also pleased about the investment we've done in the depth of the roster to be able to deal with that. I was impressed with that short preparation in the Olympics 21 that the players can perform the way they did with very short lead-in. I'm obviously very disappointed about the Asian Cup, as you all know. And then I think in the World Cup, again, we had a very good performance. But losing 2 semi-finals in a row, I think this team wants something more. But I put in perspective, we're going into that tournament ranked 9. So in terms of ranking, we shouldn't even make it to the quarterfinal. But we want more than that. And if you compare it to player availability and when the opposition players are playing, we say we have a lot of depth compared to before. But if you compare that to a France and a Spain and a US, and we look at the depth there, we might not have the same. But you know this team, they will never make excuses. We're just going to go there and do what we want to do, and that is to try to medal.
Tony, just you mentioned Mary before. Are you satisfied with what you're getting out of Mary and the team? It's been a difficult one with her. No one's ever been quite sure to figure out what her best position is and where she fits in. And it seems sometimes she can be a bit isolated from the play. Are you seeing that? Are you happy with the fit, or do you think there's more you can get from it?
I think you're spot on. You followed us for a long time, and I think you do a very good analysis when you ask that question, and it's a question we ask ourselves as well. How can we get more out of Mary, especially now with Sam Kerr out? And you've seen they've used her in different ways in City. That plays a 4-3-3 and a passing-oriented playing style. They've used it as a false 9. She's been very good to link up and be in front, like break the extra number in midfield and then have the wingers to get in behind. You've seen her play both on the right and the left because she's so good with both feet, good taking on 1v1s and good final passes. With Caitlin out, we've always said that we like a combination play to play with Steph to get the most out of Steph. So it's almost like a combination side on the left and more a running side on the right. And you've had games before where Mary and Steph have played very, very good together in that combination play. But I think China did a very, very good job in the first half to force everything to our right side and take our left side out of it. That's why we did a change in that second half with Kyra rotating up and Steph out and Mary in, so she wasn't isolated up there. I also think Mary had proven that she's a very good linking 10 when she has a running 9 up there. When we have played Caitlin to the left and Mary with Sam, for example, when she has a running 9 that stretched the back line and she can sit in those pockets in front of the back line. So it's up to us now to figure out, with different opposition and different players available, where do we use Mary the best. But I do credit Mary for being similar to Meeks, meaning it doesn't matter where she plays, she's very comfortable. Some players can say I need to have same position every game to feel comfortable and play with the same play, but Mary is very tactical, sophisticated, and doesn't freak out if she's moved, which I also think can give us some flexibility in the World Cup. But it's finding that sweet spot balance with continuity and flexibility there. But I agree, I like to get more out of Mary, but it's not Mary's fault. It's my job to get more out of her and put the players around her so we can use her more.
Final one to Isabel.
I just want to know, it's obviously Lid's last game on home soil, but also is it yours? Have you thought about that?
I'm going to be honest. I've been a bit emotional this camp because according to the situation right now, it might be my last camp. That's, everyone knows that. My contract goes out post-Olympics, and as of right now, this might be my last camp on home soil. And what I've said to myself, if so, I'm going to embrace and enjoy every single second and every minute of this camp, which I have. And that means also it's been a very emotional camp for me. And for me, when I walked around the pitch after the game tonight and thought about all the memories that we've created on this stadium and all other stadiums, and see that we can finish off this way, it was a very nice moment to share with Lydia and the team and the fans.
Fantastic. That concludes the post-match press conference. Thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you.